No, you know what? We're gonna let you do this one because I've already talked about this one and expressed my outrage.
Oh, Metaverse real estate sales top $500, 500 million. Oh, 500. What? $500 million,
Yeah,
and are projected to double this year. There are big risks, but potentially big rewards.
yeah. Just there's the article right there.
Yeah. Sales of real estate in the metaverse have topped 500 million last year and could double this year, according to investors. Real estate sales on the fourth major metaverse platform reached $501 million in 2021, according to the Metric Solutions. Why are we taking their word for it? I don't know. The recent surge in sales are sparked by Facebook's October 28th announcement that it was rebranding its Meta to focus on the metaverse. Real estate sales surged nearly ninefold. Yeah, basically,
So,
people are
well,
just people are
somebody just
getting it.
paid $450,000 to buy a virtual home in the metaverse next to Snoop Dogg.
Yep. I mean, this is where
It's
we're
ridiculous.
getting into a more asset based economy,
Yep,
and they're becoming more liquid. So purchasing these properties, whether they're virtual or not, are seen as investments because the value will go up, just like a real property. And
and it's
they're doing this in New York with Billionaire Row, building these massive fucking towers where there's like a handful of residents, and the rest are just they're just empty. They're owned, but they're empty. Same thing happens in China. They have all the nail houses and stuff. It becomes an investment for them to hold value. And now that they're doing this with the metaverse, it's much more accessible for people, and it's
it's it's
yeah,
terrible, is what it is.
it's actually more liquid. It's more
Yeah, but
liquid than an
dude,
actual property
I
because
mean,
you're
but
not
they're
tied to any
literal. They
liability.
are this is they are like this right here. The company is developing 100 islands called Fantasy Islands with their own villas and a related market of boats and jet skis. 90 of the islands sold on the first day for $15,000 each, and some are now relisted for sale at more than $100,000
Yep.
for virtual land.
Yep.
It like I hope you're right, D, because Metaverse will go the way of Mixer and the Zune. Mark my words. I
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really hope
It's
it
already
does.
dropping. I mean, this article
It was this week.
oh, is this week. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I have problems with it. It's
It's gonna
basic
become so commercialized, so commercialized,
It
and
already is.
it already yes.
It's the next gimmick to siphon more money off the poor.
Yep,
Because they're spending it on this. The people running these things are already billionaires. Okay, they're already okay. Okay, um, and people are taking their money and investing in here, where it's not going to come out and be spent in their actual communities.
yep, right here. Here's somebody who apparently agrees with us. Still others say the metaverse land is just like the latest iteration of the crypto Ponzi scheme, luring unwitting investors into projects that may eventually prove worthless. While real land has natural scarcity, hence the old saying, they're not making any more of it, virtual land is easily created with code. There is no limit to the number of new metaverse platforms that can launch. Even the big existing platforms can create more land, as Sandbox did when it decided to increase its parcel sizes. Many point out that the previous versions of virtual land grabs, like in Second Life, fell far short of their promises. Metaverse land sales are generally a pyramid scheme and have been for more than 20 years, said Edward Castronova, professor of media at Indiana University. The metaverse is El Dorado for internet startups. They chase it into the jungle and die.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one way. It's one way to die.
Yep.
Um, yeah, you would have to get a property that someone else would want,
Yeah.
for some reason. Or it all collapses and they all wasted their money. Which would be hilarious, but also not good.
It's not common yet, Ponrook. It's not. It's. I don't even think it's still worth purchasing, in my opinion. I don't think VR is worth purchasing yet.
I mean, uh, the index is. I would love to get my hands on the index.
Well, if you're gonna go very high end, yes, but for everyday people, for just cat, no.
Yeah, and I would never get the Oculuses, because they're tied to Facebook, and for how much I get banned from Facebook,
They ban
um,
your ass from that too.
yeah, you lose access to your games, you lose access to everything because it's through your Facebook account. And that's part of the problem with this metaverse expanding, and why when D mentions, the antitrust laws and stuff. It's pretty important to prevent that from happening, because when all of your important shit is tied to these virtual universes, and your access to those assets is dependent on whether or not your behavior is socially acceptable by some third party, not even like a market force, like it begins to get a bit fishy. It's kind of like the old days of mining towns and getting your mining coins from working, and then you could only spend them in the company store, that kind of thing.